I was knocked back into what I imagine was a group of people who broke my fall, but something sturdy smacked me right in the face. I grabbed at it and felt a fine wooden handle, and by the weight, balance, and handle shape alone, I determined it was a shovel. I pushed myself back to my feet and prepared myself for a desperate play, shovel in hand. But then, standing there on the battlefield with people behind me, blood pouring from my open wound and an imperceptible enemy before me, suddenly, I felt it. The wind, the smells, my vision, my hearing, all of them were gone. But instead of it feeling like I was missing something, it was like they'd been taken out of my way. My senses couldn't confuse me anymore. I could feel the flow of chi moving across the battlefield, pushing Liu and I against one another. It told me where he was going to go. I held up my shovel and blocked as he dashed up on my right. I couldn't hear him, but I could feel his body recoil in shock after the shovel blocked his glaive. He was caught completely off guard when I drew back and smashed him in the face with the shovel, sending him tumbling through the dirt. To my surprise, his spell wore off as he lost focus and my vision and other senses returned to me as he bounced across the ground. As my senses suddenly came back to me, I gasped from the sudden shock and needed to catch my breath. I took a moment to check my chest and found it bloody, but the wound had nearly closed up completely. Liu was completely aghast, and it seemed my blow had smashed in part of his cheek. He got up slowly with a hand held to his face. But when he returned his attention to me, I saw unyielding rage in his eyes. I smiled at him as we locked eyes, and he grunted with rage, pushing himself to his feet. We were about to engage in another round, but just as we started to move, there was a blood-curdling cry of terror from off to my right, not far into the darkness. Both our heads immediately turned toward the horrified scream, but then we looked back toward each other. I couldn't focus on him anymore, and when I looked into his eyes, I could tell Liu felt the same.